Hello, my little ninjas. My name's Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News, and welcome to your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. I'm your host, Moxie, and we have our beautiful co-host down by the river, Boo Bear. He's my beautiful baby. And I have a few videos ready for you this evening, but I think we should have a big fat bong hit first because it's that kind of day, don't you know? And I love sharing bong hits with beautiful people like you. And I am so ready for a bong hit. So ready. Ready for a bong hit, Boo Boo? He just had a cookie. He does not need a bong hit. Well, need. Need is, kind of, how you say, person to person. You need a bong hit, Boo Boo? He just had a cookie. He doesn't need a bong hit. He's like, yes, I do, damn it. Let's see, I got something on my hand. What is that? Don't want that on my hand. Get that off my hand. Hate having sticky hands. All right, so time for a bong hit. In case you're all ready, now is the time. Lovely. Okay, so Steve Mcclanahan here. I don't see him. We'll wait a minute for Steve Mcclanahan to get. So absolutely lovely day here in the Northwest. In case anybody's wondering, it started off dumping rain. And then the sun came out, and there was blue sky, and it was absolutely beautiful. We went on a very nice walk till this horrible lady called my Boo Bear a mean dog. I don't think I ever heard that before about my Boo Bear. It was like a knife through the heart, because he's not a mean dog. Not a mean dog. He's a good dog. He's just angry. He's just angry. Not that he was expressing anger at that time when she called him a mean dog. She called him a mean dog. He's all the way across the field. She was talking to her dog. She said, stay away from him. He's a mean dog. Hello, caller.
Breaking news. Steve Mcclanahan is out of data, so the best we're going to be able to do is get him on a call. He cannot watch the show tonight because he has no data.
Oh, well. Sucks for him.
It does. I just wanted to let you know from the producer's desk, this is hot off the press. So everybody else is going to have to figure it out. No Steve Mcclanahan tonight because he's ghetto-ass poor bitch. No, I'm kidding. He does not have data, though. He's on a prepaid account. He says he's broke until payday.
So send all your money to us so we can buy data for Steve Mcclanahan.
There you go. We can buy data. Let's do that. Let's work on it. Let's do a fundraiser. I like it. Fundraiser for Steve Mcclanahan to get back on the data plan. If he calls in, I'll put him right through, though, I promise.
Oh, good.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, good. All right. So it is a call-in show. If anybody wants to call, the number's right there on the screen. It's 805-669-6397, 805 Mox News. And I have a video tonight that I want you to see. This T-shirt here. It says, what can it say? Can you read it? Can you read it? I like big racks, and I cannot lie. What's up, Boo Boo? I have a video that corresponds with that, which I think you will be interested in. I finally found something you all are interested in. Did I say I have a video about smashing a satellite into an asteroid? Did I tell you that? I have a video about that. What could possibly go wrong? I think these people who are doing this think that they're so fucking brilliant, and it really irritates the shit out of me. So we'll get to that momentarily. I have a video about about children and COVID, right? You know, in the video, it states how children, the cases of COVID, children is rising astronomically, right? Just in time for the COVID vaccine to be approved for children. What do you know? And then, you know, I'm thinking about it, and these kids are all getting sick. They're all getting sick. And why is that? Because they sent them back to school, which I again and again and again said is a super spreader event. Why are they doing this? Right? And now it's like, oh, all the kids are getting sick because they're not vaccinated. No, that's not what's happening. You sent them all to a super spreader event because you don't give a shit about children. Not you, but, you know, people like Joe Biden. And, you know, they're just like vampires. You know, it's like they thrive on doing evil against man, against good people. They thrive on it. You know, it's like this Joe Biden crime bill. You know, he hurt people. Mandatory sentencing for marijuana arrest. Okay, he hurt people. He's an evil man. And now somehow he's leading our government. Do you think that you have to be an evil person in order to become president of the United States? You think that that's mandatory? That's part of the deal. If you're not evil, you can't be president because then we can't trust you to do the evil things that we want you to do, like Barack Obama did. Right? So if you're not evil, right? If you're not evil to your core, like Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney. I bet you they're grooming Liz Cheney for presidency. And if she loses the seat in Wyoming, they're going to be so fucking pissed because they were grooming her to be president and she fucked it all up. You know, these people are evil. They do evil. And they do evil in your name. And they do it every single day of the week. And somehow, this is the people that we want leading our country. This is the best people that we can find to lead our country. They're not even decent human beings to be. You wouldn't even want them in your neighborhood. They're such shitty people, right? They're killing people on a daily basis. Children. And, you know, they're good with that. No problem. You know, fucking Jeff Bezos gives Obama's fucking Obama fund $250 fucking million because why? So I guess Obama can go around the world and do more evil. Yay, Bezos! Right on the mark, buddy. Keep up your evil fucking doings, you giant sack of shit. See what this marijuana... I can't do marijuana anymore. It gets me so aggravated. Huh. You know, I asked Bezos, I asked fucking Musk, I asked him, please do something about the manatees. Please do something worthwhile. And Bezos gives $250 million to the Barack Obama Foundation. He couldn't find anybody more needing on the planet of $250 million than Barack Obama. Anybody more trustworthy on the planet to do good than Barack Obama. The guy who helped murder 1 million innocent Iraqis and then fucking bombed hospitals and school buses and all the other, and funerals and weddings, which are all war crimes. That's who Obama is. Period. And so is all the other presidents. And this is the part I just don't get. I just can't figure out. It's like you have to be an evil person to become president of the United States. You know, I that's why Camilla Harris is in there. Not that there wasn't other running. Look, I just don't understand any of this. None of it makes any sense. Do you guys feel that way? None of it makes any sense. So, how did we get here? Why are we doing this thing? Why can't we, why can't we hold people accountable who do evil in our names? Why can't we hold them accountable? Why can't we act like it's important to hold them accountable? I'm confused about this. Is it because you're overworked? Is it because, there's so much stress that you can't find the energy or the time to stand up and demand a better government than the one that we have? Is it because the right person hasn't brought it to your attention? Is it because you just don't care anymore? Because I just know that you and yours deserve better than these fucked up evildoers, and all the people of this country deserve better. There's so many good people in this country, and they don't deserve to be represented by a psychopathic murderer like Barack Obama, like Donald Trump, like Joe Biden, like George W. Bush. Okay? None of us deserve that. And I know there's so much better people out there. Why is it that we can't get any? It's beyond disturbing, it's just kind of like, it's beyond disturbing, all this murder, all this, horrible profiteering in every direction against our government, $1.3 trillion infrastructure project. None of it's going to go to infrastructure. We're going to make sure that we're going to expand the broadband in this country. We're going to make sure everybody has fiber. Why isn't that the job of the people that are going to make massive amounts of money off that fiber? Why isn't that Verizon's responsibility? Why isn't it Comcast's responsibility to make sure that all these people that you're providing internet to or going to provide internet to, I don't know. But that's the least of it. It just shows the corruption. It's the lobbyists. A lot of it has to do with this lobbying thing. You get in bed with one of these lobbyists and you start doing favors for favors, right? And next thing you know, that's just who you are. Somebody comes along, makes you an offer, it's a good enough offer, you're like, yeah, man, sounds good, let's do it. And that seems to be the only way that anything happens in politics, which kind of would make it easier to understand if this is the way things go in politics, if everybody there just becomes, this person that's out to get what they can for themselves, right? And if that's who they become, and then you look at that swamp of evildoers doing evil in your name, and you think, I don't want anything to do with that. Is that what it is? Is that why we can't get decent people? I'll never understand. Because this country's full of good people, and we deserve good leadership, and we deserve not to be doing evil things around the world in your name, with your money. We deserve better than that. You deserve better. I don't know if I deserve better, but I know that there's a lot of good people in this country that deserve better, and it's really weird. So, I think we should play a video. You guys can see the telephone number on the screen, right? I'm going to play a video about about smashing a satellite into asteroid. Now, I'll tell you why this bothers me. The smashing of a satellite into an asteroid, right? What they're saying with this is that they're creating technology that can protect protect the world, right? And I seriously doubt that. What they're doing is they're getting a grant to do what they've been dreaming of doing forever. That's what they're doing. Although I'm sure that it's technically very difficult to smash something into an asteroid. Again, that being said, which is supposed to happen later this evening, I believe. That being said, the smashing of this thing, the reason they're doing this is to see if they can change the course of this asteroid just slightly, right? And all I can think, is that they're going to change the course of this asteroid just slightly, and they're going to do it to show that we can protect the Earth. Meanwhile, they're changing the path of this asteroid, which has been going for millions of years. Which means it hasn't hit anything in millions of years, and they do like a cylindrical kind of rotation or whatever. Not all of them, I guess, but haven't hit anything in millions of years, and then you go and smash into it and change its course just a little bit, and what happens? It goes and smashes into some other planet with some other developing race that doesn't deserve this to happen to them. It seems to me very short-sighted. It seems to me that it just doesn't seem well thought out. We're going to change the direction of this asteroid. You change the direction of the asteroid, how do you know where it's going to go next? This doesn't seem like and this is probably the reason that humans will never be allowed to leave the planet, is because we cause problems. And it's unfortunate, because I don't want to be that, and I don't think that you cause problems. I think it's that these evil fucking governments they don't care who they hurt. And I think that this seems like an example of it to me. Not that we know that it's going to hurt something, but that we know that they don't care that it might. I don't even, I question whether they even think about it. I can't believe the news reporters don't ask questions about this. All right. Smashing satellite into an asteroid right now.
A mission that could save life on our planet as we know it is set to launch tonight, and people here in Western Washington are playing a key role. It's just a test, but Aerojet Rocketdyne, based in Redmond, will try to push an asteroid off course. Cover 7's Renji Sinha explains how the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, will work.
For some scientists, it would be enough to fly to an asteroid, but for Aerojet Rocketdyne, based here in Western Washington, the goal is to get a spacecraft off the ground and have it hit an asteroid and move it. They're trying to see if that's even possible, since it could help push an asteroid away from Earth if it was on a collision course at some point in the future.
We know what happened to the dinosaurs, and obviously we want to avoid that. We're going to smack into it with the DART spacecraft at about 15,000 miles an hour.
It may sound like a movie, but a mission set to happen today is trying to make science fiction into fact. NASA's first planetary defense mission will feature rockets with propulsion built here in Redmond. That rocket will hit one of two asteroids and push the smaller one.
There's no danger to Earth from this particular asteroid. The kinetic energy of that impact will actually change the orbital velocity of that moonlet around the main asteroid that it orbits.
Joe Cassidy says if this mission succeeds, we could learn how to protect the Earth from asteroids. And Aerojet Rocketdyne could be building more engines to make that happen.
This is the first time that we've actually built both a chemical propulsion system and an electric propulsion system for the same spacecraft and integrated those in Redmond.
The company has been part of missions to Mars, and in October last year, the company helped rockets land on an asteroid, collect samples, and fly back to Earth. NASA has shown how many asteroids scientists have cataloged over decades. A collision with Earth is unlikely, but there are a lot of them. This mission could help add security from space debris.
What has been built and engineered in Redmond, designed, I mean, this could potentially save the Earth, save us from an asteroid strike. I'm not mincing words in saying that. Is that correct?
That's true, yes. I'm sure everybody in Redmond will be up watching it tonight. It's super excited. We're always proud to play a role.
This is the first time anyone has tried to push an asteroid. So Joe Cassidy, with apologies to the dinosaurs, is thrilled to be part of it.
The dinosaurs went extinct because they didn't have a space program. Actually, have the potential to save humanity. How can you not get excited about that?
And the launch of that spacecraft is slated to happen at 10:21 tonight. If they can't do it today, they're going to try again tomorrow. In Seattle, Ranjit Sinha, Cairo 7 News.
All right, so I find that it's like they're saying this could save the Earth. Do they think about the fact that they're changing the course of this millions of year old thing, that they could actually smash it into another planet? Is it that they just want to believe that there's no other intelligent life in the planet? There's no other life in the planet that's of value to anyone in any way? Or is it just not of value to us here on this planet, so we might as well steer a big old asteroid into it because we don't really give a fuck? I don't know. I just, maybe it's just me who sees a problem with everything. Want to have a bong hit? I do. Save the Earth. Scientists who want to save the Earth. And this is the most effective way we can save the Earth, save humanity, is by smashing shit into asteroids. That'll do it. That's going to keep all of them, humanity, and all the animals on this planet from going extinct. No doubt about it. Smashing a fucking satellite. No kidding. I'm not playing around. I'm not fooling. I'm serious when I say smashing an asteroid smashing a satellite into an asteroid could save the planet. It could, So could actually doing something here on the planet. Probably much more likely to save the planet if it's doing something here on the planet. Again, these people, on top of everything else, they don't seem to care about the end conclusion here. Where is this asteroid going to go next? And what happens if you change the course of it enough to smash into another planet? And I talk about crimes against humanity. What kind of a crime would that be? And how can you not think about it? I just don't understand how it doesn't matter. I don't understand how a lot of things don't matter, I guess. Hello, caller.
Dun, 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 dun. Steve Mcclanahan. Steve Mcclanahan. Michael, how are you doing today? Michael, this is Steve Mcclanahan.
Okay.
The fuck do you want?
Huh? You called me.
Literally, dude, you get the gayest superhero in the fucking world currently
for my picture. What in the hell's wrong with you, Michael?
It says Steve. It says Steve on his uniform, and he's a reporter. So, go figure. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense totally. Michael, you know, is this about the competency test, Michael?
No.
Michael, because I mean, I don't know what this is about, Michael. I mean, I'm pretty much right about everything, but you know what about is it that you're finally understanding, Michael?
Well, you said that I'm almost 60, which is correct, and you said I need to really step back and take a good hard look at my life, and I think that that's true. I think that you know, I think that there's things. I think that in the last year, I woke up in the hospital with my arms and legs strapped down to a bed. I think that my beautiful Boo Bear was horribly butchered by a fucking piece of shit veterinarian who thinks male dogs aren't supposed to have testicles. And I've worked every single day for the last year to try and get him better. And I think my girl died. And I think that it shows that I need to make sure that I'm doing what I want to do with the last years of my life. Because I might have 5 years, I might have 10 years, I might have 20 years. But what I can tell you is that I'm pretty sure it's going to go by in the blink of an eye. And I want to make sure that I'm doing what it is I want to do with that time. Whether it's do YouTube, do nightly show on YouTube, or I was looking at the Rumble. People are like, why aren't you doing the Rumble? I went over and I looked at the Rumble really, really hard. There's some stuff I don't like about it. But here's what I can tell you about the Rumble. In 3 months, I could make the Rumble my bitch. And then I have to think about, is that really what I want to do? Because I have this limited amount of time to do what it is that I really want to do. And I have the feeling like there's something inside of me that wants to get out and make things happen. And the thing about it is I make really interesting things happen in the world. Very unique to me, interesting things. And I like what I do. And quite often, it has a profound effect on others. So I need to make sure that I'm doing what it is that I want and should be doing. And I'm gonna, step back and look at my life really hard, thanks to your, your recommendation.
Well, Michael, when I'm not, fucking kicking ass as a journalist, I am a motivational speaker.
Well, I think you misunderstand. I think you misunderstand what I'm saying. I am going to not do the show. And I'm going to take, because people think that, I come out here.
Oh, you're doing the show?
No, I'm not. Don't make me hang up. Don't make me hang up on you. I come out here and people think that it takes 2 or 3 hours to do the show. Okay? I do the show for 2 or 3 hours, sometimes more, and then I get done and I go to have something to eat and I scan the evening news. I scan the late night news. I scan to make sure that there's not something important for tomorrow night's show. Or something that needs to get posted right now. I'm not talking to you! Okay? I get off doing the show. I go and I do that. I make sure. And then I get up in the morning and I check the morning news. Make sure that it's show. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing the show, right? And then I make sure that there's nothing I need to take care of or capture or miss, that I might miss right now. And then when I scanned it, I go and take Boo Bear for a walk, right? And then after we have a nice walkie, I come home and I scan the afternoon news. Make sure there isn't something in there that I need to get for the show. So what I'm telling you is that it's not a 2-hour thing, okay? And it consumes the vast majority of what I do. And I need to make sure that I don't, in the blink of an eye, miss 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 more years. that I need to make sure that I'm making happen the things that I want. And the thing about the show is it's constant. It's all the time. It's not, and it's not, I told you all that watching the news is dangerous. It's bad for you. I've told you again and again, watching news. And here's let me give you an example of it, okay? Friday night, I'm watching watching a stupid movie, Ant-Man and Wasp Girl, right? And I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, I'm just enjoying the movie, It's just like stupid, easy to enjoy. And I'm watching the movie, and Craig comes home. He comes home like 10, 11 at night all the time because he's working late all the time. So he comes home and he's telling me about, his day. And I'm like, I got to go take a bong hit, right? So I go upstairs to take a bong hit, and Craig sits down and he puts on the evening news because, I'm busy taking a bong hit, 5-10 minutes, whatever. And I'm taking a bong hit. And so I was watching Ant-Man and Wasp Girl and just, being like, no brain, relax, just not think about stuff. And I come back down, and Craig gone on the evening news, and it's right at the top of the news, and it's talking about, it wasn't Friday, I think it was Saturday night. It's talking about, 5 people dead, and 40 people injured after this crazy person did this horrific thing. And me enjoying stuff, just relaxing and not thinking about evil for a minute, was shown there the importance of it to me. Because again, this isn't just like a 2-hour thing for me, and it is. I'm paying attention to these horrific things. It's not so much that I'm paying attention to that as that it's being pounded into my brain again and again. And that's why I say don't watch the news, because you can come out to YouTube, for someone you consider to be a reliable source, and you can watch a clip that's interesting to you. You can watch a clip that's interesting to you, but you're not constantly bombarded by this CNN bullshit, this Fox News bullshit, this MSNBC bullshit that never ends and is there to make you feel bad about this tragic event that happened, to make you afraid about this horrible plague that we're experiencing, and the terrorists. Don't forget the terrorists. They're coming for you. So you go from this relaxing, and this is how it is every night. It's not that I'm like relaxing, boom. It's that I get off and it doesn't end. So it makes it it's like 2 or 3 weeks ago I told you that I started some plants, that I just started, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 plants, seeds, right? And that I had 4 or 5 little babies like this. And I just keep failing at it, I just keep not being able to do what needs to, and I have I'm talking about the things that I want to do with the little bit of time that I have left. I have one thing on my bucket list. One. I want to grow a really pretty flower. I know it's asking a lot. So I have to figure out the things that I want to do for sure with this last little bit of time that I have. And I really appreciate Steve Mcclanahan pointing that out to me last week or the week before. You got to step back and really take a look at what you're doing. I think he's right. So if you want to call, the number's there on the screen, and we can talk about whatever you like. I am going to play another video. I want you to pay close attention to this one. Now, I like big racks, and I cannot lie. This video, see if you can pick out in this video what it has to do with my t-shirt, okay? Now pay it close attention. I'll be right back. Don't blink. Pay close attention. Here we go.
She got a tiny waist and an ass that go like this. And skinny legs. She got skinny legs.
That's so.
And titties. You likes big titties, don't you?
Oh, you know I loves big titties.
She got big titties.
Welcome back. The GOP finally catching up to what a majority of Americans are asking for: cannabis reform. House Republicans, led by Nancy Mace of South Carolina, have introduced a bill to federally decriminalize and reschedule weed. The States Reform Act would regulate and tax weed similar to alcohol products, and most notably, it would release inmates convicted of nonviolent cannabis offenses. It is beyond time, well past, for Congress to take action on drug reform at the federal level and free these prisoners. But does the bill go far enough? Joining me to discuss Cannabis Freedom Reform Alliance advocate, co-founder of the Weldon Project, and former nonviolent cannabis inmate pardoned by President Trump, Weldon Angelos is back. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So does the Nancy Mace bill go far enough, and does it accomplish what needs to be accomplished right now where we are in the state of cannabis?
Absolutely. It's actually probably the best bill that's been introduced. It ensures that the roughly 2,700 people incarcerated for nonviolent cannabis offenses are released from prison and their records are expunged. There are some issues with the other bills that have been introduced thus far that actually prevent some people from attaining relief. We're happy that Mace was, worked a sensible bill.
So this is interesting because her bill has a 3% federal excise tax on all cannabis products. The Democrat bill, is the tax really as high as 25%?
Yeah, and the problem with that is it incentivizes the illicit market and the gray market, so it strengthens the illicit market, and that's a problem.
Yes, cartels love that because cartels, they're still growing weed in California. They're having a great time. There's a very robust market, and you can tax yourselves into a real problem when you go too far. It's very interesting because you also pointed out that some of these Democrat-sponsored bills don't let everyone out. You know, they do have quite a few exceptions to the release aspect of this.
Absolutely, and the Senate version actually prevents people who were operating state-compliant medical dispensaries who are prosecuted federally from obtaining relief because they had 4 or more employees working for them. So today, any cannabis company would qualify for that exception and not get relief.
Isn't that interesting? And that's Cory Booker's bill, correct?
Correct.
And he's been on the right side of this issue in many, many ways, and he was one of the few people during the 2020 presidential contest that was pushing some of his fellow candidates. And, we thought we had seen an evolution on the part of the president, the current president, but the VA during the Biden administration is not being very helpful in terms of research and prescriptions for veterans who want to use medical cannabis for things like PTSD and chronic pain. Are you surprised by that?
No, not really. I've been, this president hasn't done anything. He's promised during the campaign that he would grant clemency to nonviolent cannabis offenders, that he would pardon the convictions of people who are living with cannabis felonies, and he hasn't done anything. And he hasn't signaled to us that he's actually going to take this up.
And there are thousands of people who are still incarcerated for this, thousands more who can't get jobs, who can't get loans because they've got federal records. And until those records are expunged, they're not free to fully live. So I don't know who is going to embrace this cannabis freedom at some point, but the fact that there are so many Republican co-signers to this bill, do you think that helps actually push it through the House?
Absolutely. I think what this bill does is it provides an opportunity for bipartisan compromise. This is a very good bill, and a lot of people were surprised that a Republican would have these kind of ideas about ending prohibition. So I'm very happy, and this is a historical opportunity just because this is the first time in history that both parties have introduced legislation to end prohibition.
Yeah, and it's, you've got some co-sponsors from states where there is legal recreational marijuana. So that's not a huge surprise. It has to be rescheduled. It has to be decriminalized if we're ever going to get past this logjam. So what's the next step, Weldon?
Yeah, the next step is to come to the table with the Democrats and work on something that both sides agree on. I think this bill could pass on its own. It's that good of a bill, and I've heard a lot of Democrats say that they would vote for this bill.
All right, we'll see if some of the social conservatives in the Republican Party agree. Hopefully they do. Put your pride aside and do what's right for the good of the country. Weldon Angeles, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Woo. Coming.
You hear that little thing at the end? She said, "Coming." I love cutting off the female reporters, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, when they say "coming." Coming. I used to do that to Spanky. What's her name? Erin Burnett. Always, when I see her, all I can think is spank me, spank me, spank me. I owe Jackie Cat a bong hit because on Dabs for Donations Friday, Jackie Cat kicked down like she always does, because I have no idea why. Because she's so nice, I guess. I'm gonna have a bong hit. Where are you going? Where are you going? All right. I'm not saying that I'm never going to do this again. I'm not going to post on this channel anymore, or do live show or whatever. I'm just saying it's really difficult for me to do the live show and be able to put energy into almost anything else other than Rufus, who's my top priority. So I have to I have to step back. I have to be able to get a garden started. I have to grow a pretty flower. Just once I have to grow a pretty flower. And I think I'm close. Not that I have the proper experience yet or not, but I have everything. I have like some of the most sought after genetics in the world. I have good soil, substrate, whatever you want to call it, cocoa. I have everything. I have wonderful lights. I have beautiful tents. I have ventilation, and I haven't been able to grow a proper flower yet. And I think it's just because my energy is so focused other places. It just makes it really difficult to have energy to do a whole lot else. So I need to make that happen. So I'm gonna take some time and think about what it is that I really want to do and get a proper flower started. And then I'll come back. I'll come back just to say hi, and if nothing else, just to say hi and give you an update on my attempt to grow a pretty flower. I may even decide that that's what I want to do. I just want to post videos of growing cannabis, of gardening from here on out. I just have to see, because that's one of the things I wanted to do too, is to post videos of me gardening, right? But when I'm looking at the news, scanning the news, putting in this energy, listening to these incredibly negative things about 5 people being run over and killed and 40 people more injured by some piece of shit, it makes it hard to do anything. And that's what I get, constantly. And there's the COVID bullshit. It's just so much fucking bullshit. Oh my God, right? So I have another video. If you want to call, the number's up there on the screen. It's 805-669-6397. I have another video. It's about COVID in children, right? And for a month at least, when they were talking, probably 2 months before they decided, well, not decided, but before they sent kids back to school, I kept saying, why is even there a discussion about this? You know, and I'm hearing all the fucking journalists who have kids, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're like, we need to get these kids back in school. It's going to be a super spreader event. Why? You want children bringing COVID home to your house? You want children spreading it to, I don't understand. You know, and now they're talking about, oh, there's 100,000 a week, you know, getting infected, right? Will you put them all in this fucking contained fucking experiment classroom? You know, it might as well be, you know, a test tube. And now it's like, oh my gosh, just in time for the vaccine, mind you, for children. Oh my gosh, all these children are getting sick. Well, yeah, that's what you did. You did that on purpose because you knew that you wanted to push this on to children too. So you made that happen. It was never about getting the kids back into school. It's about getting something into their arms, don't you know? And I'm going to play that video for you now since we don't have any phone callers. And I need to go to the store to get ready for Thanksgiving. Clip number 3 is about children and COVID. And again, pay attention to what's being said here. They're talking about, you know, I just see this as so simple if it's laid out properly, right? For months, I was screaming, why would they do this? Super spreader event. How can it be anything but a super spreader event? And now everybody's shocked that children, all of a sudden, children are getting the COVID just in time for the vaccine to be approved for children. Wow. Thank God for little miracles, right?
New data shows the alarming rise in COVID-19 infections among children so far this month. Children right now account for 1/4 of all cases in the U.S. KOMO's Denise Whitaker shows us the rising trend and how vaccinations could come into play.
These new numbers are disturbing. Just in the last week, more than 140,000 new cases reported amongst children. That's an increase of 32% from just 2 weeks ago, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association. Weekly case counts now above 100,000 for the 15th consecutive week. The number of cases had been steadily dropping in children since early September, but now this surge is becoming a big concern. Some good news here. With vaccinations, right now about 1/3 of all kids 5 to 17 in the U.S. do have at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Doctors say even without being fully vaccinated, that one dose does provide a good amount of protection.
Many of those celebrations where the kids are getting vaccinated early, you can rest assured that the majority of adults are likely also vaccinated. So those are going to be very safe environments.
It's the regions where cold weather is forcing more people indoors that are now experiencing higher transmission rates. I also looked at case counts in our state, which shows some surges in Island, San Juan, Klickitat, Chelan, Douglas, Lincoln, Okanagan, Skagit, Snohomish, Thurston, and Wahkiakum counties. Moving forward, health officials remind those who do live in areas with higher transmission rates to wear a mask when they're around other people. Denise Whitaker, KOMO News.
Looking at vaccination rates among kids in our state, the numbers are still rather low in that 5 to 11-year-old group at just 13.5% initiating vaccinations. It is higher in 12 to 15-year-olds at 55%, and it's above 62% in 16 and 17-year-olds.
All right, so I'll give it another minute to give any calls. I need to go get grocery shopping. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. It'll be crazy. So probably be crazy tonight. go get a little bit of food. I'm gonna make a lasagna again. The last lasagna I made was, I used too much garlic, right? So I think I got it figured out. Other than the garlic thing, it was pretty much spot on. So I'm gonna do it just right for Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna make some Chinese chicken in the stir fry. So I need to get a couple things there too. And that's I'm gonna do the Chinese chicken, the what is it, crispy honey chicken, for which is just slightly spicy, for an appetizer, kind of like a warm-up meal, you know. And then we'll do the lasagna for dinner. I think that sounds nice. And of course we'll have biscuits. I really want to do garlic bread, but I'm afraid if I get the garlic bread tonight, by Thursday it'll be a little bit, you know, stale. All right, so where are we at? No one's calling. So what else is happening? Again, I want you to know that I'm not going away. I will check in with you. Hopefully I will start doing some cannabis videos. I'd really like to do, and I think we could do those live too. You know, we could move into the garden to do some live shows, and we could put video of the garden on the green screen doing some live shows. If that's what it is that I want to do. I just really have to think about what it is that I want to do. You know, like I said, I make interesting things happen, and I like the things that I make happen, and they seem to have an effect on lots of people, you know. And you know, I always think about this one phrase that I remember, or this one little, you know, thing that I heard this guy say on a TV show one time. And he said, one person can have a profound effect on another person, and two people of like minds can change the world. And I love that saying. And I don't know who to credit it to, but it was I think, I can't remember, it was some show about Alaska, and it was a DJ. It was like 15 years ago or something. But it was, and I remember meeting that guy who was the DJ of that show. It was so funny. He wanted to meet me. Just like he said, and he told me, he said, everybody in Hollywood's talking about you. Like, what the fuck? So I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. I want to make sure, not that I'm doing the right thing, but that I'm doing what it is that I want to do, because that's the right thing, you know. Otherwise I'd be compromising, you know, the last little bit of time that I have to make things happen. So whatever it is I'm going to do, I will be sure and let you know. And like I said, I'll check in shortly to let you know how my progress is going. That being said, I hope you have the most wonder-filled holiday season. I hope you enjoy as much of it. Better not be Steve Mcclanahan. Hello, caller.
Michael, what is this, your farewell show?
I just said I'm not going away.
Yeah, well, you're talking like it's a fucking funeral, man.
It's not a funeral. It's actually a celebration of life.
A celebration?
I see things. I see things. Why? Because Mox News isn't going to be around anymore. You don't get to see my beautiful smiling face. Is that why?
Yeah, what else should I do with my time if I can't fuck with you? You know.
Look. I'm not going away. I just look at.
Your general fucking attitude is depressing me.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's my attitude. So you know, I'm just making you more aware of the fact that you're depressed already. So you know.
I had a very good night. I came home. I was very happy,
Uh-huh.
and then I turn on your fucking program, and I want to put a fucking bullet through my fucking skull.
I am just wanting to make sure that I'm doing what it is. I don't look at, nobody has, who knows how much time we have left on this planet. I make really interesting things happen, okay? I made YouTube my fucking bitch for years. I make interesting things happen. I want to make sure that I'm not selling myself short by not trying to figure out what it is that I really want to be doing next. And I think that there's something inside of me that really wants out. So I need to make sure that I give it the chance to let me know what it is so that I can move forward with it or not. What?
Is there a woman inside of you, and you need to just let it out? You got to just be yourself, let that freak flag fly?
I'm very in touch with my feminine side. I don't need any more of that at all.
Oh, okay. All right. I tune in and I've seen this Michael before. We've been doing this dance for a long fucking time, me and you, and I can sense when I feel the frustration. I can feel there's something a little off about you. And we're both fucking old. We're not, me and you, we ain't kids.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's pretty much my whole point, dude, is I have this limited amount of time left to make things happen. I want to make sure that I'm doing the things that I want to do. See, you get into this like pattern of this is what I do, this is what I do, this is what I do. And I want to stop that so I can clear my head and know what it is I want to be doing for sure with this limited amount of time that I have left. That makes sense to me. It makes no sense to you?
I don't know.
I'm a freaking artist, dude. Okay? I do these beautiful works of art. Okay? And what I want to make sure happens next is that there's not some amazing, beautiful work inside of me that doesn't get out to be here for when, see, again, it's this thing where I have an effect on people, and this, it's like you touch them and they feel like you're saying, oh man, I'm so sad right now. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say, hey, this is a good thing, something really important that needs to happen. And I'm not going away. I keep saying this, so I don't know, why you want to act like, it's so sad. I get it. You're sad because Mox News isn't going to be here for you to push around anymore. But that's not really sad. What now?
Well, you're making me laugh, Michael. Look, cheer up, old man. You got plenty of time. Don't question your.
How much time is plenty of time?
Yeah, fucking 20 years.
Okay, and you don't think that those 20 years are going to go by in the blink of an eye?
Not if you eat mushrooms and drink whiskey.
Well, I'm not about to start drinking whiskey, but I have a 1/4 pound of mushrooms on the way.
Ooh, maybe you should do a stream where we all trip out together.
That sounds like fun. I think that's a pretty good idea. I think that's the single best idea you've ever given, Mox News.
Well, see, look, I'm good for something every day. Look, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So.
As long as it's on 420, it's right all the time.
That's what I'm down with that. Well, Michael, I want you to know that even cunts like me that like to fuck with you, I'm rooting for you, old man. All right, I don't despair at your own mortality because
I
no
don't.
one gets out alive. All right, buddy?
I look forward to my death, dude. You don't understand. It's I'm paid in full. Okay, I get to go all the way home after this, so it's no big deal. And this society is just fucking so slimy, and the whole thing is, I don't want to live to be 90 years old and be all broken and have to have people help me do stuff. Why would I want to be like that? So. Not that that has to be that way when you're 90 years old. My neighbor down the street just told me he's 97 years old and he was out there raking the leaves up off his yard. So, but
Hey, at 97, when you rake the leaves, that keeps your dick hard.
Whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, whatever, exactly. Well, Mike, I'm wishing you well. And whatever you gotta do, if you gotta paint some fucking pictures, if you gotta do it, let's all trip out live stream.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm on board.
All right. Well, I think
you can have a good time with it. All right.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I will keep you all informed.
That's good. That's good. All right, Mike. Cheer up. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
All right.
I don't know if we have any other callers or not. I will give you another minute to call. The number's right there on the screen, 805-669-6397. And I'm not trying to bum anyone out. These things that I'm talking about are actually good. Like I said, I do stuff in the world that's unique to me. And I want to make sure that as much as possible isn't left undone, because I like the things I do, and I'm not the only one, and I really want to share as much of that as possible, with as many people as possible. He was saying I need to paint or something, which I've thought about painting, but I really think I need to write. I think that's one. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm fine.
A little confused.
Me?
No, you're not confused. You know exactly what you're doing. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, was I supposed to comment on you know exactly what you're doing? That seemed like a simple statement that didn't need any more comment involved. You know exactly what you're doing.
Either or, Mike, I don't care. I mean, whether you're confused and working through it, or whether you've come to some resolution, whatever, I support you as a person in whatever decision you make. And I think a lot of people listening to your program feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm not really confused. It's just a matter of giving myself the opportunity to know exactly what it is I want to do next. Because, again, I make interesting things happen in the world, and I don't want that left inside of me before I'm, out of this planet.
Well, just a few notes there. Everybody has to address that problem, that it isn't unique to you, right? Like every person, including every person listening to this program, recognizes they have a limited amount of time. How are they going to spend their time, constructively for themselves as a human? That isn't unique to you, right? That's just a universal kind of thing.
You think people spend a lot of time thinking about what they're going to do before they die?
I think people do think about the meaning of their lives all the time.
I guess that's what the bucket list is all about, is what I'm going to do before I die.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, I know people question, like, the meaning of, like, what they're doing in their life every day. All kinds of people do that, Mike. I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that, too.
That's normal. I'm not trying to even patronize you. I'm just saying that's normal. But there's one thing I'd like to say, and that is, like, people are unique. Like everyone's got their different story, and they frame it their way. Like, I was doing this and that, but in fact, other people see what they're doing. And they're like, oh, in reality, you were really doing that. Other people see things differently than how you see things, or how I see things, for example. However, for myself, I can say that, like, ever since I've been a pretty young person, like I mean like 10 years old or so, I've been extraordinarily interested in current events, and that evolved into history, and that evolved into political science, and that evolved into economics, and then that evolved into political economy, which is the study of power. And you see where I'm going here? If you're interested in something, you study it and you understand what the fuck is going on. And I think, myself, that some people are afflicted with this. Like, some people just want to understand what the fuck is going on. Frankly, that's my position. Like, ever since I've been small, a little munchkin, I've been trying to figure out what the fuck is going on in this world. And it evolves. And I spend an enormous amount of time reading. Like most people don't even fucking read. They just watch TV. I read, Mike. And that's part of my program. And there's nothing I can do to change that whatsoever. I love hiking. I like mushrooms. You know, I love food like you. My grandma, you know, my mother and grandmother made lasagna as a gift to me many times, you know. So I mean, all said and done, that's my passion. I don't know what your passion is, Mike, but just from observing how many YouTube channels you've had, rebroadcasting C-SPAN, showing snippets with interesting perspectives called Mox News, and then doing this live program, I would suggest to you, Mike, that you also are curious about what the fuck is going on in the world. And so many people, I mean, maybe not like thousands of people, but you know, people who are watching this program right now appreciate that. They appreciate you, Mike. Maybe they're poor, but they do appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, look, it's not so much that I'm interested in what's going on in the world, as that I know that there's evil going on in politics and in journalism, and I want to do my best to point this out to people as one of the aspects of, you know, what's happening. And not just that, is that I have the ability to be in the moment and find boom, 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 what just happened. You know, the Las Vegas shooter, the fucking meteor that landed in Russia. Yeah. I was on it 8 hours before CNN said a single word. 8 hours. 4 hours before Fox News or BBC said a single word. So.
Yeah. And you did that, Mike, because you have a passion for that.
I did it.
It isn't just you did it because you wanted to share it with other people, and you noticed it, and that's what I would call. I mean, it's all semantics, right? Fucking words and definitions. But I would say that is like a passion. You're interested in that. Like, I found something interesting, and I would like to share it with people, and people are receptive.
It's more like you should see this because it shows things that are, you know, not a waste of your time to know. I don't know. Again, this is something that I know how to do, which is clip videos and post videos. Okay, I've been doing it forever, and long before there was a YouTube, this is what I was doing. So I was in this position where this is what I was going, and then all of a sudden YouTube showed up, right? And it took me about 6 months to get onto the YouTube, but it's because so many servers I had used before that, I uploaded hundreds of gigs of shit, and then the servers just disappeared. So,
not to interrupt you, Mike, but like, it seems like your passion is sharing. All right. I'd like to just say, like, when I was like, 13 years old, I know you're like 5 or 6 years older than me, but like when I was like in the early 80s, and we had like whatever, a VHS recorder in our house, like late 70s, early 80s, I would like go onto the streaming services like HBO and Showtime and just like accumulate large libraries of classic films that like I thought were like something I wanted to keep.
Yeah.
So I just accumulated all of these clips, and as a result of that, Mike, I like basically went through my own little film school, before I was like 17 or 18 years old, where I was familiar with a lot of films, and I was drawn to films that I thought were good films. It's all subjective, I know, but whatever. It's copying and sharing with other people, right? And that's like the heart of everything, like the Pirate Bay, the Pirate Party, this idea of like, you know, I would say like the Electronic Frontier Foundation, this concept that information should be shared with people, right? And these live shows that you've been doing have facilitated that, Mike. I mean, we're getting all kinds of different perspectives from people who care about you, and interesting people as well. I think, you know?
Look, this is what I know how to do, and I'm pretty good at it, and I've been doing it a long time, and it seems to have an effect on people, what I do. So that's all that I know, you know, and I've seen, okay, just, I 22 years ago, 20 years ago, I was making TV here in Seattle. And just in the last couple weeks, a female, wrote to my Facebook page, which Craig responded to, and said, hey, I just want you to know how much we appreciate the work that you did 20 years ago and how it really made a difference in so many people's lives. And
with public access TV in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I think exactly. So I mean, I looked at, I mean, Craig showed me a few, and I've looked at a couple of like the videos that you did during that time, and they were entertaining. They were extremely entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff you did when you recorded like the C-SPAN, and you did like C-SPAN Junkie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That stuff was more news focused and oriented towards like literally current events, like a transformation of sorts. And I think for the last about 10 or 15 years, Mike, that's kind of the track you've been on, and that does include political commentary, and that is framing the news from your perspective. You know, that's all of those things.
Yeah, well, what I did on the public access was, again, do my best. Like you're saying, I used to tell people, I talked to a lot of reporters, right? I've been on every local news channel at least a couple times.
You ran for mayor of Seattle.
Yeah, kind of. And we did bad things to the current mayor. I always felt like it wasn't just a matter. Well, I would do news interviews with these people, right? I was on the front page of the Seattle Times 4 times out of 19 articles. I would do interviews with these people, and they would ask me, what is it you think that you're doing? And I would tell them that I'm putting smiles on the faces of thousands of people all at the same time, all across the city. And a smile being the first step to healing. So, and there was more to it than that, as far as Zen and coming into the moment, which is the most important thing you can do, is come into this moment.
I agree with you. And I also liked the reference to Buddhist in Hindi mythology, when you would have your adverts for like, please give me money, but then you'd have Ganesh in the background, kind of like this idea, which you have lived by. It isn't a screen or anything.
Well, there was
really authentic.
There was a little clip that I was putting from a video called The Buddha, which is narrated by, it's all about the Buddha's life, and it's narrated by Richard Gere. And there was a little snippet that I would put at the end of the videos in which it said, Buddha, these people would beg for food, and in exchange for food, you would tell them, they would tell you a story. But they were only allowed to beg for, what they needed, and then they would move on to, doing whatever else it was they would do. But which is pretty much how it's always been for me. But the point was, he would say, begging in this sense is not, we think of it as a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's showing that that you have this need and desire to connect with the community, and if you're not giving them something back in return, which is word for word from
I'd
the
like to add
if you're not giving something back to your community, you won't receive anything, and that will be the end of what you're doing. And that was what I put at the end of the clip.
That's true, right? But another aspect of that is like by making that statement that I will beg in the public square for whatever I need, for clothing or for food or for shelter or whatever. Part of that statement.
That's not what I said.
Also,
That's not what I said. They're only allowed to beg for a meal. And once you have that one meal, your begging is done for the day. So we understand each other.
Thought there. I understand the principles of what you're talking about, but to finish the thought is like the idea of asking for something in the public square is also a renunciation of excessive wealth and of excessive consumption. And in the
right.
austere lifestyle of a bodhisattva or of a person who aspires to the way of Buddha or whatnot is like a person who has renounced like materialism. So when you're in the square begging for your bread, literally you have made a statement of sorts that you really have renounced materialism. That's what I see, Mike.
It's not. I don't have desire for things. I don't.
You said that.
Yeah, I don't. It's not.
You shop at the thrift store.
I love shopping at the thrift store.
Yeah, you eat simple food and so forth. Yeah, I realize. I know all of that, and I'm saying that that's part of the whole concept of whatever self-enlightenment. You try to go through a program where you can help yourself understand things better. And if that requires like retreating from the world to understand something, like in your case, growing cannabis under lights or something, if that's what you need to do, then perhaps that's what you need to do. I just wanted to remind you that you are very amazing at like sharing pieces of information with people, Mike, with your own twist. And I don't understand why more people don't call. I swear to God. Because I look at the numbers, the amount of people watching, the amount of people who watch your program, all that crap, right? So on and so forth. And I swear I don't understand why more people aren't attracted to Mox News.
I am really surprised that more people aren't tuning into the live show, and that's kind of part of what when I say I need to make sure that I'm doing what it is that I want to do in this little bit of time that I have left, is because if we had been just getting one new viewer a day, since we started doing this, we'd have hundreds of people in the room right now. So whatever it is that's going on with YouTube, with this production, I don't really understand that either.
Well, I know that you expressed your reservations about Rumble earlier, and that other people have discussed that as an alternative platform. And I'm just saying, I would keep, whatever, Craig and you, if you could keep your eyes open, maybe you can find an alternative platform that would enable you, like you said, you could kill it on Rumble. And I think that you could kill it on Rumble. I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about how you could kill it on Rumble, Mike, but I think you would do well with live streams. Do they have that service?
Yeah, you got to pay $25 a month to be able to live stream, which I would imagine can be done.
And are you allowed to solicit, for folks like for money while you're on your program, on your live stream with Rumble?
I don't know, but I imagine that asking for help to make your production happen is not considered a negative.
Right. It's a thought, right? I'm just saying that, I've had so many people. It's hard to explain. My focus, since I was in high school, for 4 years, I spent my time in law libraries, in public libraries in different cities, in medical libraries in different cities, doing research to support my argument in debate, where I had to argue something and defend it with evidence and beat another person's opinion in front of a fucking judge who would say yes and no, just like that. So ever since I've been a kid, I'm obsessed with research, and I love to fucking read and understand what is happening in my world. And that's just part of my nature. It is never going to go away, like that nature that I have. And in turn, just from observation, Mike, and where you gravitated to when you first went onto YouTube, like with C-SPAN Junkie and such, I think that you have a similar nature, where you're very fucking curious about what is happening. And if there's a big crisis, like you said before, that like there's going to be another kind of 9/11 event, not COVID related, but something weird that'll throw us all into fear or freak out for their totalitarianism. I hope that you do come back at that time and provide like a platform for people to call in, like Brandon and Mike from Southern California, and so forth and so on. Right?
Yeah.
I do hope that happens.
Yeah. I that makes a lot of sense. I haven't been thinking about that. I know that I watch for events like this. 10 times a day I turn on the TV specifically just to make sure that there's not two smoldering skyscrapers with the words terrorist written underneath them.
Yeah, or the Trans-America building in San Francisco or something on fire, hit by an airplane or something.
Right. And I do that, like I said, 10 times a day, but it's just a momentary thing. I check it. Even when I go there, like CNN, BBC, whatever it is, when I go to check that news, if there's a commercial on, I know that there's not some kind of breaking news where the whole world is coming to an end. So I go, oh good, I can go. I don't even have to see the news for 1 second. That's how good I am at the news. So.
Well, that is another part of what you do, Mike. It's called media criticism. And like other organizations, Project Censored is one of those organizations. Glenn Greenwald is a person who does things like that. There are others. So like this idea of deconstructing the media, and how you take clips and actually analyze like how the reporter is responding to the situation by the questions that they ask and how they react to the situation, that's valuable, Mike. It's called media criticism. And we need more media criticism in the United States, even with a sense of humor. And you often include a sense of humor in your analysis. And I'm going to leave at that point. I just want to say I hope that you have an awesome Thanksgiving and that your lasagna comes out perfect. I do hope that happens.
I used too much garlic last time, but I won't be doing this time, and I'm pretty sure I got it close to down. So.
Right, and it looks like it's going to be raining, so you'll be happy because it'll be raining.
I love all the weather, dude. It's not that this one or that one makes me happy. It's that I love the Northwest, and without any this one or that one, it just wouldn't be the same.
Well, I certainly love where I live, but the weather's the weather. It's going to be raining. I hope you enjoy it, and enjoy your visit with your friends. And I hope that you come back sometime in the future so that we can, have another chat.
I'm gonna check in. And if I get my flowers growing, I'll be sure and let everybody know about that. I love the idea of doing a show on the cannabis on the garden. I really like that idea. Yeah. The news, the 24/7 news thing is very difficult.
There's one thing I'd like to say, like as a consumer of YouTube, there's a lot of YouTube channels. I don't even watch commercial TV, Mike. I just watch individuals who produce media. I don't really, I do scan like Reuters and Associated Press, but for the most part, I never watch television ever.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I just hope that right, what would be a constructive way, like a constructive method, like if you're going to focus on cannabis, for example, that if you do a program where you show a bunch of start or something, if you could do like a 5-minute historical perspective of cannabis using clips, video clips that you've accumulated from the internet with historical information about cannabis. And then if you could gather video clips, again, across the internet, showing like the drug war with cannabis. I mean, I know other people have done these things before.
I have hundreds of clips like that. I don't have to go around the internet and gather them.
But I think that would enhance the value of, like, instead of just watching plants grow in like cubes.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Cannabis for Victory? Or Hemp for Victory? Have you ever seen that? That's a great one. I love that one.
Hemp for Victory, the one from the 40s about, or is that actually in the last 10 years? Cannabis for Victory.
Hemp for Victory? No, it's like 1930s or 40, early 40s.
Yeah,
I think it's 1930s. I think it's late 30s.
During World War II, when they were encouraging farmers in Nebraska and Iowa to grow cannabis.
Well, they've been encouraging farmers to grow cannabis since the United States was... Look, every fucking rope used by the military up until like 1980 or something was made from hemp. Every uniform made for the U.S. military. Every hemp. So, and then we got all stupid.
About direction, like a possible direction. Okay, one of the channels I watch is Tales of American Empire, and they do like a 10-minute segment that shows like examples of American imperialism over the last 100 years. Crazy shit, like gunboats on Chinese rivers in the 1920s. With an explanation of why they were there and what they were doing. Really weird shit. Tales of American Empire. But there's, it's the same thing like with the drug war. Like you could go through all of your C-SPAN files, right? And you could tag the files that are talking about the drug war, and you could make a composite of like a 20-minute video about the drug war that you could post on Mox News. And I think you would enjoy sifting through the old material, Mike. Just by your nature, I think you might like it,
I like what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to let you go. Again, thanks so much for your time and for letting me chat with you. And I wish you the best, and I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Okay, you too. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so Chris was talking about how he spent all this time in library, reading, thirsting for knowledge. I spent my time on the beach. Tripping on mushrooms, chasing tail, playing. I spent my time on the beach. But and then I moved to Maui, and I spent my time on the beach there. But I've always had a passion for reading until I really started doing the video stuff, and it kind of made the reading stop mostly. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mike. How are you, brother?
Good.
Right on. This is John Murdoch again, calling from the Mile High City.
Right on. What's up?
Well, I was just, scanning through, and I saw your show, and I figured if you were going to be going away for a while, I might as well send you a happy trails and tell you thanks for all the great shows, and
right on.
Spurred a lot of thoughts in me. I'm looking forward to your videos on growing.
I don't know what's next, John. But like I said, I really like what I do. And I want to make sure that there's not something inside of me that just, like waiting for me to pause for a minute so it can get out,
Hey, definitely, man. And, I'm taking over here. I know you probably got to go.
No, man, you talk all you want. It's fine. I really appreciate you calling.
Well, I appreciate everything you do. I've wondered myself in the past. I'm like, man, where does this guy get the energy? I'm just laying here in bed doing dabs and watching your show, but I know it takes effort on your end.
It's this thing. I can't seem to fit a whole lot more into my life doing this. That's the reason I need to stop everything so I can look and make sure, what it is that I want to do, as opposed to just letting those years melt away, like they tend to do, because yours tend to do that.
You're goddamn right, man. Again, your show always spurs a lot of thoughts in me. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think I relate to you somewhat. I'm almost 40 years old, so I know I'm probably a little younger than you, but I always really enjoyed listening to the radio, public access, the call-in show, and I just like the format. I think it's so good, but it really does seem like it's going out of style, or people just aren't into it anymore, and I don't think it's a detriment to any of us. It's just because people are so shallow now.
I think it's because they don't talk on the phone anymore. They just text, I think that's a big part of it. So they're not used to the idea of calling and whatever. And it's, there's just not that big a flow of people here, We used to do a call-in show when we were doing the public access. We did a couple different kinds of shows, and one of them was a call-in show. And we'd get call after call after call after call after call after call. I mean, it was a 28-minute show, and we'd get 28 calls, and I wasn't trying to rush anybody or anything. It just didn't stop. So, and a lot of people only want to talk for like 30 seconds. They got their little funny thing to say, or just say thanks or whatever.
Right. Yeah. No. I totally agree with the last caller. I've thought similar things where it's like I look at the numbers and I'm like, how is there only 20 people watching this? I just, I expect more, but there's that great quote that no one's ever gone broke underestimating the intelligence of the American people.
That's probably true. I hate to think like that, though. I like to think that.
I know you don't.
I hate to think like that because I know that there's all these good people, and they're getting mind fucked, and they're getting misled, and they're getting lied to, on a never-ending, never-stopping basis. And it's hard to find something good when you're busy. It's hard to find little things that make you smile, especially when you're getting this negative influence constantly. So, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I totally agree, and I know there's a little delay. I don't know if you're trying to do your dad, but I know it's all so negative. Maybe it's because people like you and I have one foot in the old world, one foot in the new world, but I feel like, that for people like us, again, I can't put words in your mouth, but it seems like the internet is it's peaking, man. I've given it 10 years, and it's, I was wooed by it. We all were, but I feel like it's really plateaued and it's peaked, and at this point, I'm seeing less and less value in it. Well, at least me, like it hasn't really made me any happier. If anything, I'm just bombarded with a bunch of negative stuff.
Well, clearly you're not watching enough porno. But the thing I like about the internet is that every work of art ever made is right there at your fingertips. Every movie, every painting, every song. And I think it's unfortunate that people overwhelmingly seem to like the faceplant videos of the greatest works of art the world has ever known.
No, and there is. I think there is a lot of good that has come from it. But if I'm hearing you right tonight, you feel like maybe there's something more out there that you're not getting out of this. And that's all I'm saying. Is I think it's a fair point. There's only so much you can pull from the internet. I'm not saying it's worthless, but it'll never replace, growing the plants yourself or that shit yourself or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
it's kind of like so many things have become just synthetic in the internet. Like, oh well, it's all good except you can't live in a digital house and you can't smoke digital weed and you can't.
No, I understand what it is you're saying. For myself, I honestly would not be upset if I never had to touch another computer. That wouldn't bother me at all. So I kind of understand what you're saying, and what I'm hoping when you say that the internet is plateauing, what I'm really hoping for is that this whole faceplant video thing will be plateauing, and that people will begin again to pursue great works of art and actually use this to gain knowledge.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I guess it's like any other tool. It doesn't have to plateau, but maybe what we're doing with it is maybe plateauing, or I don't know. Maybe that's just me,
Well, you keep bringing up that you look at things. Maybe you look at them negatively. It sounds like that you do look at things negatively, and I think that not to be mean or anything, John, but I think you deserve better than to look at things negatively. And that's partially why, I don't like to look at other people, as these people are what was it you said about the saying, you can't lose money making underestimating the the idiocy of the American people.
Yeah, the quote, I can't remember the guy's name, but it was that nobody has ever gone broke underestimating the intelligence of the American people.
Yeah, see, I that's not how I look at things. I understand that point of view, and I think it's probably correct, but it would never be the way I would want to live my life, So, because again, you have this limited amount. It's not that. Let me put it this way. It's so much easier to go through life with a smile on your face than a frown. I guarantee it. So
no, I agree, and that's one thing I do like about your show is you bring a positive spin to it, and I think I guess all I'm saying is that I agree with you, and it's just a lot easier for me to be positive and happy in, let's say, the natural world. It's almost hard to be happy and positive in the digital world.
The digital word is
bullshit out there.
Yeah, it's really strange. All the trolling and all the hard to know what's real and fake and everything. And that being said, hard to know what's real and fake. I highly recommend you look up the Japanese aphrodisiac porn because it will blow your mind. But again, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not, right?
Those Japanese, man, they always got something going.
They know how to do the kinky, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And hey, again, I don't want to take too much time, but I will continue to look for any videos you want to post. And I don't know, do you have any other ways to reach you or send you an email or anywhere else I should be looking out for you?
If you want to send an email, it's pretty easy to do. Craig can put the email address in the chat, or I can do it in a minute. But I appreciate that, John, and I'm glad that you're out there and watching for new Mox News videos, because there will be some. So
good, right on. Yeah, man, and I know it's just kind of a throwaway thing, but if you're ever in the Mile High City, you just ask about John Murdoch, man. Everybody knows me.
Is that right?
You come through. Oh yeah, man, I own this town.
I will remember that for sure, John.
Okay, I'm just playing, but hey, man, I love you, and I'll look forward to anything you put out in the future, man. God bless.
There's a movie called it's called Incarnation of the Monkey King, right? And there's this little girl in it who's just like the most adorable thing you've ever seen. I mean, she must weigh like 90 pounds or something, right? And she says, there's the Monkey King, right? She like knocks everybody out with poison so she can steal all their shit. And then the Monkey King's standing there looking at her, although he's a human, he's in human form. And she's like, oh, good job, how did you not get knocked out? And she's like searching him for money and stuff. But my point is, she says, hey, you look like a beggar. Why are you even in a restaurant? You know, because you don't have any money. And then she starts to give him some money that she stole from him. And she says, you know what? In this town, I am respected. If anybody gives you a hard time, you tell them you're my disciple, and they'll you know. So I love that movie. That girl's real name, the actress's real name is Ha Ha He. H-A-H-A space H-E. Ha Ha He.
Wow, incredible. No, it's that's the way people used to talk, man, and we should all be more entitled. This is my city, like your city is Seattle, right?
Yeah. Well, I actually do own this town, so you get here, you let me know.
Yeah, you're the king. You're the king, Mox, and I appreciate it. What did you say that movie was? The Manifestation of the Monkey Man?
Incarnation of Monkey King. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Japanese aphrodisiac porn. Oh my God.
All right, man. Well, I'll check it out. I'll have to post a review. But
okay, good.
No, that's awesome, man. And I'm gonna cheers up right here. I'm gonna do a little dab for you, brother.
Right on. I really appreciate it, John. It's good to hear from you. And one of these days we'll talk again, okay?
Hey, man, one of these days this war is gonna end.
You know it's true.
All right, man. Later.
Stay cool, John.
Later. Thanks.
Okay, so unless we have a phone caller, I am tentacles. I don't like the tentacles. The tentacles is too freaky. But the aphrodisiac shit, oh my God. Those girls like foaming at the mouth because they can't get enough. It will blow your fucking mind. Japanese aphrodisiac porn. Telling you. Now, I want to do another bong hit with you all. I'm all out of videos. I want to do another bong hit with you. If anybody wants to call, I'm going to heat up the bong. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't do it. Hello, caller.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Long time no hear from you.
Really?
What's going on?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, what happened is I was trying to look at your stream last week, and apparently you haven't streamed it. I was hoping on stream on Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
But you were not streaming those days.
I don't know. I don't really pay attention, Manny.
Hey, do you stream another platforms like Twitch or like Rumble or like any?
I looked at the Rumble. I don't like the Twitch so much because it's kind of weird, and the videos don't stick. Right? They stay up there for 7 days and then they're gone. I don't like that. The Rumble is missing some stuff, giant holes in it. I could go and fill those holes. And speaking of Japanese aphrodisiac porn, I could go into the Rumble and fill those holes in such a manner as to make the Rumble my bitch. The question is that really what I want to do? So, and that's what this is all about, is me making sure that the next steps are doing what it is that I really want to do.
Okay. But like, I guess what I'm asking is, are you in any other platform other than YouTube?
Right now, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I don't, there's Minds, there's a whole bunch of them, Manny. I don't know. I don't want to recommend any other platform, okay? As I was saying at the beginning, it took me about 6 months to join YouTube before it started. And the reason that I is, again, I would post hundreds of videos on servers and then they disappear a month later because I was costing them a giant bill. So I was asking, Craig, who's into the internet and technology, and my friend Sam, who's fucking brilliant, is the YouTube going to stick or is it just going to go away? And he said, I don't know. So I came to YouTube and I started posting. Actually, I was posting on the Google before the YouTube. The Google video was great, but it wasn't real public like the YouTube is. So.
Oh yeah, I remember YouTube video or Google Video. It was supposed to be a competitor of YouTube in 2005.
It was around before YouTube emerged, and then YouTube came along and pretty much took over the posting. Although the thing about the YouTube was they would only let you post like 15 minutes, as where on the Google I could post up to a gigabyte, so I could post hour and a half long videos or whatever from C-SPAN and shit, So.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there used to be a lot of weird stuff. That's actually how I saw the original Psychics movie. Remember the movie about the Federal Reserve and the Jesus Christ and the war in Iraq? The Psychics.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, well, I saw it originally on Google Video.
Cool.
So how you been, Max?
I'm good.
Who's this Steven person?
Right now? Oh, Steve Mcclanahan. You don't know who Steve Mcclanahan is?
No.
Well, then you don't watch the show, Manny.
Well, I'm just tuning in, Max.
Right, but that means if you don't know who Steve Mcclanahan is, that means that you don't watch the show, Manny.
Okay. Now, can you clarify that for me, please?
Steve Mcclanahan calls in like every single show, so you must not watch the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a life more outside YouTube. I watch Fox News in the mornings when I'm working. I don't watch and listen to every once in a while, or I watch other podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience or the Tim Pool guy.
Okay, Manny. Hey, I gotta go. It's good to hear from you.
But before you hang up, what he's right about?
What now?
What is he right about?
He's right about I need to look at my life. I need to take a hard look at my life. He's right.
I see.
There's little time left for me to make things happen on this planet. And I need to take a good hard look at my life and make sure that I'm making happen the things that I want to make happen in this little time that I have left to make things happen on this planet.
Can I ask you something, Mark? And you don't have to answer it if that's appropriate. Is there something going on with you that make you change your mind recently?
About what?
I don't know. Something happened, Mark. Because when somebody says that, it's because something huge happened in their life that really makes them think about their choices in life or the impact in life.
Look, I woke up a year ago, almost today. I woke up in the hospital, strapped with my feet and hands strapped down to a fucking bed, okay? And not knowing where I was at, how I got there, what the fuck happened, not being able to get a drink of water without the nurse standing there feeding it to me, okay? And then my dog got hurt, and then my other dog died.
I see.
And then there's the COVID and all the other bullshit, So if you look at it, Manny, I have this little amount of time left to make things happen. And I want to make sure that I'm making happen the things that I really, really want to be making happen. And the only way for me to know what it is I really want to make happen is to step back and take a good, hard look at my life, so that I can understand what I want to do next. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to do YouTube. It just means that I need to make sure that what I do next is what I really want to be doing.
Oh, absolutely. It makes total sense, Max. I was just curious, what happened? Usually there's a major life event that happens to people that change them forever. And I thought something like that happened to you, but based on what you're saying, it makes total sense. I mean, go ahead, Max. I highly support you in making a difference and an impact on everyone's life. I'm just wondering what happened, though. That's all I was asking.
Okay, Manny. Good to hear from you.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too. Okay, so if anybody wants to call, the number's up there on the screen. I want to take another dab with you, and I do. If you haven't seen the Japanese aphrodisiac porn, I'm telling you, I should make recommendations like that every night. Did you like the big titties clip? I like the big titties clip. I watched that movie the other night. What the fuck is that movie name? The name of that movie is, I watched that movie the other night, and it's crazy. It's it's one of those movies that you won't soon forget. Let's see. I'll tell you the name of that movie in a sec. Did you like that clip? I like that clip. I was like, ooh, I gotta get that clip. Hello, caller.
Yeah, this is Mike from Kentucky again. How you doing?
I'm good.
I tuned in tonight, and I've heard you speak with different callers, and Mike, I'm kind of in the same position, not the same position, but I feel like I am where I've reached that point in my life, and I'm asking myself, am I really doing what I want to do? Am I doing this for someone else or a group of people? Am I really fulfilling what I want to do daily? And so I respect you for that. I mean, what time I've been tuning into the show, like I say, when you remember a few weeks ago when we spoke
yeah, I remember.
About politics a little bit. Yeah. Nobody can forgive me because I've got a totally different accent than probably most callers you have. But
everybody talks a little different. People talk about how I speak all the time.
Well, I've had friends from the West Coast and everything. So, but I just wanted to again just show support. Of course, you'll be missed in this platform because during the time we spoke, I looked at things, I questioned a few things differently than I did when I called. So, it's always good to be engaged with someone really you're not sided with either group. You just speak your mind. And that's, there's real power in that because, like I say, as soon as I tuned in the first time, it got my attention quickly. And again, I know a lot of people will say, well, you don't need to do this, you need to go this route. That's bullshit, man. You got to do what's good for you and what you love doing. So I support you 100%. I just wanted to call in, and I'll be looking for what you have in the future. So
right on.
But well, you did bring up you brought up a point about Japanese porn, man. I got to chime in on this, brother. I've worked with the Japanese management for probably 9 years now, so I've been to Japan 6 times.
Right on.
I've been to Kyoto. I've been to Kyoto, Nagoya.
It must be a very interesting place.
It is, yes, it's very interesting. The food, first of all, the food's great. It's excellent. But as far as pornography, yeah, it's a very strange thing. As you mentioned, the tentacles and all that. But my first trip, this is what I was wanting to tell you. It's kind of a funny story. We stayed in one of the AB Motel, which was in Aichi Prefecture in Japan. And my American friend, we all got our own rooms, and we went out and got pretty drunk, first night.
It's easy to do on sake. It'll make
yes, it is.
Sake will make you see God.
Yeah, Mike, we had the owner of the company, the president. He ordered us up these little boxes made of wood, a little wood box, and it had the shot in it. Plus, it's poured over in the wood. The wood was to give it a flavor. And it was very strong. And so we get off the elevator, and he sees this box. And what the way they handle this in Japan is usually on your floor there'll be a box, and you buy a ticket, and you go to your room and type in the ticket, and then that's how you get the pornography. So my friend's excited, right? for us, it was like a 12-hour trip. We flew into Chicago, then flew out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Went into Nagoya. So, very long trips. But that first trip, he buys the ticket, and he's all excited, about porn. He's going to watch Japanese porn. And I already knew what was up, right? So he goes in there, and he comes knocking on my door about 5 minutes later. He's like, fuck this bullshit. There's black marks over everything. He said, I blocked it. Well, I said, you got to use your imagination. I said, why do you think he's Japanese or masturbating the tentacles and stuff? I said, you blocked out, But, absolute awesome country. It's one of my favorite countries I've been to. And, I speak a little bit of the language, but I cannot read. I can't read Japanese. I got to use my translator on my phone for that.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah.
You don't need to be able to read that stuff anymore. The phone will read it for you.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's because you got a mixture of characters in Japan that they use.
Yeah.
So, they said, I asked one of the Japanese men, I said, why in Japan don't you use Japanese characters on cars? Because I was, involved with manufacturing. And he said, Japanese writing ugly. He said, English looked good. So, but yeah, I heard that, and I just had to speak on it. But Mike, I wish you the best of luck, brother, and definitely keep you in my thoughts. But I'm at that crossroads myself, and just closing out, I was actually going to get on one of the other shows, and I have had COVID. When COVID first came to America, I contracted it. Ever since then, I'm a diabetic. Ever since I've had COVID, I've got neuropathy. And this, it doubled tripled my neuropathy issues. Now I went from having pins, needles in my feet a little bit to being full blown from my knees down, having that feeling. And
wow.
Ended up in the hospital. Yeah, it really, the sense and taste, the smell, and all that came back quickly. But I've had, for some reason, it attacked my nerves, my nervous system. So I've run into some issues with. Actually, I thought I'd had a stroke a few weeks ago. Got put in the hospital, taken MRI, and scanning and everything. Nothing shows up, and I completely lose my speech. I could.
Wow.
I'd be talking fine for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I would lock up and fight to try to say something. So, that's something I'm yet to figure out. And I don't know if anybody's called in the other shows talking about COVID and having experiences, but if anybody's in the group chat there, if you've had any experience or run into this or know someone, please let me know. This is pure evil, man. It's killing a lot of people,
The world's gone, it's gone all kooky, man. So, like I said, you gotta figure out what it is you want to do, because who knows how much time, you know what I mean? And it's gonna go by in the blink of an eye. That's the whole thing. I could stay out here and do this for a couple more years. The problem is, a couple more years could quickly turn into 5 years, like in the blink of an eye, And then it's like,
absolutely.
Maybe I was, I just feel like there's something inside of me that really wants to get out, and I'm afraid I won't be able to figure out what that is while I'm doing this. So I need to take some time and look at what it is that. Feel it out. You know what I mean? It's like it's complicated, and it's going to be very difficult to do if I'm distracted 15 hours a day.
Absolutely, and who knows? That next step, that urge that you got to move forward, could be something that's rewarding to both you and folks around you. So it's like, I'm at that same spot with my health worrying me. It's making me really. Reevaluate what I'm doing and what impact I'm making on the world. That's huge, because we don't mind. We don't, with everything going on right now. None of us know really how long we got or what's going to happen. So I encourage you. I'm there, so totally understand.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your support, and I will be doing more videos. You don't have to, think that I'm gone forever. I need to. There's some stuff I got to deal with, and then I'll be back to talk to everybody. I'll probably be back before I'm done dealing with it, just to say hi and touch bases and, that sort of thing. Have a bong hit. Have a bong hit. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, that sounds good to me.
Are you
I'm already there.
Are you eating cannabis?
No, I smoke it.
You should really try and eat some, dude, and see how it works for you because of this these pains that you're having. It's an amazing thing, and if you're eating it, it has a kind of a different effect. So I would recommend you give it a try.
Absolutely, I will. It's I know it does help. Smoking it helps me. That's the only relief I get because I'm not going to, take this man-made stuff that kills you and you're addicted to. It's so I definitely will try it.
Yeah. Well, the one of the good things is that the smoking, lasts for an hour or two, and then you need to re-up or something. But you take a brownie, and then you're, depending on the size of your brownie, you're good for like 8 hours. So.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll definitely try it, brother.
I recommend it.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah. No problem. Oh no, I'm fine. Like I say, I'll be staying tuned, man, watching.
Okay, good. Well, I look forward to talking to you again sometime not too far distant future.
All right. We'll see you, Mike.
All right.
Bye-bye.
And this is what I'm saying, this is what I'm talking about when I say that I have an influence. I actually have a profound, that what I do tends to have a profound influence on some people. This is what it is that I've experienced again and again and again. And that's why it's so important to me. We were just talking, and he said, about when we have a conversation and they go and they rethink things, and they see things a little different perspective, or, I relate to where you're coming from, and I need to spend time thinking about that too, People have come out here and said, I kept hearing you say eat cannabis, and I started eating cannabis, and wow, it is fucking amazing, so I like what I do. I like the things that I make happen in the world. And I want to continue to make awesome things happen in the world. So I'm going to go and think about what it is that we should be making happen next. But first I want to do a nice fat dab with you before we go. If anybody wants to call, the number's there on the screen. It'll take a minute or two to do the dab. So if you want to call, this will be your last chance for a minute. Otherwise, thanks for the memories. Let's have a fat bong hit, huh?
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
You're the wizard. Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
Oh wait, there's my beautiful baby. So I wanted to say something else before we go, and like I said, I'll be back. So don't really worry about that. I'll be back. We'll be talking again soon. I wanted to tell you the name of that movie that the clip from the clip in front of the Kennedy clip where she says, "You like big titties, don't you?" That was Pam Grier, who was one fine lady. And the movie is called Drum, and it's from 1976. It's got Pam Grier and I'm not sure who else. Warren Oates. That's who the guy in the clip was. "You like big titties, don't you?" "Oh, you knows I loves big titties." It's so funny. I don't think I ever heard the word poontang used in a movie before. I was so surprised when I heard it. Drum, 1976. Pam Grier, Warren Oates. All right, boys and girls. We got a movie recommendation. We got porn recommendation. What a life. What a show. There's no other show like this on earth. So we'll try and make it happen again real soon, okay? Until then, stay cool, because one of these days, this war is going to end. Stay cool till then.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.
She got a tiny waist and an ass that go like this. And skinny legs. She got skinny legs.
That's so.
And titties. You likes big titties, don't you?
Oh, you know I love big titties.
She got big titties.
Welcome back. The GOP finally catching up to what a majority of Americans are